Glad you could join us. After almost a year, repairs and renovations will soon get underway at the Dededo pool. Diving into the issue is our Daniel Perez.
According to DPR Recreation Administrator William Stinnett, after 10 months and a bid protest, a winning bidder was finally awarded the contract for the maintenance and renovation of the Dededo pool.
With anything that goes through the government, everybody has a right to protest different bids. So just to make sure that the quality of work and everybody has the right certifications to be able to do a certain project. So there's a lot of back and forth within with G4S and then the bidding companies, and finally they just came to conclusion to picking the right company that had all the certifications to complete the project. So,
with JJ Global Services winning the bid, renovations will soon begin.
JJ Global has already been in the facility. They have access to the facility and they're already working on getting equipment and repairs, and we've done our walkthroughs together and just of what needs to be completed for this pool to be operational.
The funding for the pool has been on standby since the start of the bidding process. With the contractor now secured, DPR can finally move forward with renovations. Stinnett added DPR is eyeing to open the northern pool within 3 months, if not sooner. As for the Hagåtña pool, discussions are still underway to decide what to do with the decades-old swimming facility. Daniel Perez reporting for Guam's News Network.
Thanks, Daniel. Now in regional news, COVID-19 continues to slam the Pacific region. Due to rising cases, FSM repatriation flights to Pohnpei and Chuuk are delayed for a few weeks now. Flights to Koh Sarai and Yap are canceled until further notice. Here's more.
The FSM National Task Force, or the FSM National's government's decision to delay flights for Pohnpei and Chuuk and cancel flights to Koh Sarai and Yap until further notice.
Omicron posing too much of a risk for those flights to take off. The government of the Federated States of Micronesia says the decision is in the interest of public health. The repatriation flight to Pohnpei is delayed until February 2nd. The flight to Chuuk is now on February 7th. Those heading to Koh Sarai and Yap will have to wait until a new date is announced.
The first reason behind the delay is due to the high rate of positive cases found during the pre-quarantine process here on Guam, since we're the gateway into the FSM.
And across the Pacific, some island nations are experiencing their first surge, posing higher risk to inter-island traveling.
They're also looking at sister island countries in the Pacific. That includes Palau, Kiribati, Samoa, and the statistics on how positive cases are being introduced and spread in the community, and the containment. And it's looking at it from the FSM perspective, it gave them a sense of precautionary sense to revisit the protocols and revisit on how to deal or how to move forward with their repatriation flights.
Those in the initial flights who tested positive will undergo a third PCR-based COVID test, which will determine the schedule of the first flights out this year. 1,205 passengers traveled on the repatriation flights last year alone. And the Republic of Palau is seeing record cases of COVID-19 after staying free of the virus for 2 years. They report over 460 COVID-19 cases and at least 4 hospitalizations. And Guam is offering some help.
They have reached out to us for some assistance, and we provided some medications that they don't have to help with their surge. For a small island, they're getting more than 100 cases now a day. Right now, one of the medications and treatments that they did not have is remdesivir. Remdesivir is a treatment that is administered inside the hospital. And so in consultation with CDC and the federal government, we're advancing a small portion of our stock to them. It's something manageable based on the utilization rate, and it's the fastest.
He says they're also sending screens for medication and support for IV and oxygen equipment that they need for hospitalizations. Those supplies were loaded onto a flight that flew to Palau on Thursday. And 2 years into this pandemic, and the Northern Mariana Islands is getting a clearer picture when it comes to its tourism market, the numbers have plummeted, and recent data from the Marianas Visitors Authority shows that arrivals in December is 95% lower than pre-COVID arrivals. However, arrivals to Saipan, Tinian, and Rota rose to over 2,300 compared to 177 in December 2020. The MVA notes that a vast majority of visitors came through the travel bubble established with South Korea and the Northern Mariana Islands. And eligible University of Guam students are urged to apply for the UOG Cares Emergency Grant. The program assists students in need during the pandemic. You must be a full-time or part-time student enrolled between March 13, 2020 to current and demonstrate need and financial hardship. Eligible students could receive amounts of up to $700 this semester. Applications will be accepted until 5 p.m. on Friday, the 25th of February, or until all funds have been awarded. To apply and for more information, visit url.uog.edu/cares. And still no word yet on when the additional $483 will be loaded into the Pandemic Electronic Benefits Transfer, or PEBT cards. Guam Department of Education students and graduates who are enrolled in school year 20 to 21. According to GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez, the Department of Public Health and Social Services have yet to announce when the nearly $500 will be loaded into the cards.
So the next round would cover, I believe, the summer period. And so my understanding is that we did provide information to Public Health, and we're just awaiting their announcement of when the cards or the cards will be loaded with the additional funding support.
As we reported, DPHSS and GDOE distributed PEBT cards to students and families in August of last year, which can be used to purchase food similar to SNAP or food stamps. The PEBT program addresses the meals lost while Guam Department of Education schools were shut down during the pandemic. Fernandez noted that it's still unclear when students can expect the money loaded into the cards. And the Guam Department of Education Superintendent Fernandez receives an above satisfactory from the Guam Education Board on his performance in 2021. At Tuesday's monthly board meeting, GEB rated Fernandez a 4.4 on a 5-point scale, which is equivalent to above satisfactory. He, the longest serving superintendent in the nation, appeared on KUAM's The Link on Wednesday and thanked those who made it through another year with the island's largest public school system, despite the many challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank the board. I want to thank my management team and my central office employees and all the employees out in the schools and our students and families for just working together to, try to make the best out of this situation and keep putting our next foot forward as we, try as a community to get out of COVID-19 and back to better days.
The evaluation was based on his leadership from July 2020 to December 2021. July 2022 will mark 10 years of Fernandez serving as GDOE Superintendent. Stay tuned. Next on Weekend Edition, we have a special edition of Culture Club called Mariana Speaks, and still to come, Dave Delgado with sports.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
The holy oil has been used throughout the Bible to anoint the sick ones.
Sonia, tell us what was happening with your child.
Boil.
A boil on his eye.
The doctor just checked him and he gave me medicine.
And he gave you the medication, you gave it to him, but what was happening?
It's not even working.
We anointed him, you used your faith, and what was really bad, completely gone. And now, show here. How's the face? Happy?
Happy?
Bishops and pastors from all over the world, blessed and consecrated the holy oil. Don't miss.
Sunday, January 30th at 10 a.m. at the Universal Church, Jigo Town Center, right behind the Bank of Guam. To reserve a free bottle, send us a WhatsApp message to 671-971-7171.
Welcome back. In our new special monthly edition of Culture Club, Mariana Speaks, poet and writer Siobhan McManus shares one of her pieces called The Dead Won't Die. Take a listen.
Culture Club, brought to you by Honum, the freshest bottled water made in Guam.
I'm Siobhan Ruberong McManus. I'm a Palauan Chamorro writer. I've been writing for about 5 years now. So the name of this poem is The Dead Won't Die. And the inspiration actually came a couple of years ago when my dad was explaining the process of harvesting bananas. We have a stalk of banana trees in the back of our house that's actually, my grandma planted those and she has since passed. But when my dad was explaining the process of harvesting bananas, that you have to cut them down to the stalk and that technically after the fruiting process they die, I got to thinking a lot about regeneration, about watching my grandma farm taro and how every time she would harvest the taro and replant them, you have to take a chip off the root. And how if anybody who's grown up near farmers, they know that it's a very smelly job. And kind of thinking about how a lot of times what makes soil the most rich and healthy for plants is throwing away all of our dead things, right? Eggshells, our waste and all of that. But mostly the poem came to me when I started thinking about my grandma's journey from Palau to Guam after the war and what that meant for her to be uprooted from her home and to come here and to restart her life, and kind of how militarization is a very cyclical process and how us as Micronesians haven't really ever escaped that cycle of watching our land kind of go through all kinds of violence. And so when I think about The Dead Won't Die and naming it that, I was just thinking a lot about all of the ways islanders have to watch their island be upturned over and over again, whether it's natural disasters when you grow up as a little kid and you survive your first typhoon, or just being in poverty in general, or just watching your grandmothers have to work really hard to support their family. And then now being older and seeing what militarization is doing to our land. I think in general, thinking about the resilience of the earth and how it's helped us survive so much and how it predates and it outlasts all of the things that we could possibly do to harm it. I find a lot of comfort in that. And I think that our ancestors and our grandmothers who maybe lived a lot more lived in closer proximity to the land, carried that wisdom with them, that there's a lot of wisdom to be found in watching the earth turn dead things into living things. The dead won't die. When the sky falls and the river bleeds and fire catches the wind, my grandma goes and she finds a valley. She takes her sisters and brothers and their sisters and their brothers, and they walk. They walk until they find a corner of scorched earth dipped behind a forgotten hill, and there, nestled between cracked soil, is the island's mouth, our first home. The earth unhooks her jaw as they approach the opening, taking off their shoes before stepping in. Barefoot on rows of jagged teeth, they descend, slither down right into her belly, cocooned at the bottom, limbs tangled like worms, sunken and writhing, hidden in that oppressive quiet, their house of trampled soil, cold and lovely as a tomb. They sleep like the dead, and when the river runs clear, they rebirth in the backyard. They emerge with our mangled flesh in their hands, pulling us and them up from the earth like taro and sugarcane, laying us out in rows, an unexpected harvest. They prune our wilted edges, clean our filthy innards, scrub us raw and tired. It's been a long sleep. And there, splayed on the kitchen table, we're welcomed into that first new light. In those years, everything was green, and I never knew it as barren. And when the heavy rains came and the violent winds peeled back the earth's overripe skin, we fell back into that familiar center. Terrible and sturdy, smelling like sour carpet and molding wood. This landing place, our birth home. I watched my grandma that first typhoon, walking into that upturned mess, silent as stolen wind. She had floated here on floodwaters, and I was waiting for her move. She took to the earth, sunk her old body into that drowned soil, called up life like a stubborn child from sleep, and she took a blade to those banana trees, cut them down to the marrow, until they were nothing more than 2 feet of exposed stalk jutting up from the earth, like naked rebar on top of old matchbox houses, saying, build something here, grow something here, lay a roof on top of me. Nothing stayed dead in her hands. She had grown a forest by the time we carried her body back to the earth, and we built a life here, at the root of fallen trees, at the place above that scorched hill. And now the land shifts and splinters again. They're upturning our graves, choking the wells, and she's not here to see it this time. But I'm still waiting for her to move. And I'm watching for the next skyfall, and I can smell the burn pit from here. Will the rivers bleed again? Will we be sent back into the soil? Will she make room for us there? The blade and the hand and the basket, whittled to the bone, buried in the backyard, a split seed reaching out. The peeled skin and rotting flesh and sour earth, I can see it all now. Perched on a valley's edge, crawling down that wretched hill, knocking on the door of dirt walls, a carcass holding up the roof, clearing a floor in that old sunken quiet where the dead won't die. I start walking because something grows down there.
Culture Club, brought to you by Hanum, the freshest bottled water made in Guam.
It's beautiful.
It is, right, baby?
Dad, isn't that where we usually stop for gas?
It's where we used to stop, but not anymore.
But isn't that the place with the milkshakes?
Okay, all right, let's go.
Good job, kids.
Take your adventure further in the first ever Santa Fe Hybrid.
Half a day. As we look ahead to a brighter tomorrow, Madison's commitment to Guam and Micronesia remains stronger than ever. While the world around us is ever changing, what remains unchanged is our commitment to you, our customers, and the island communities we serve. Shipping is what we do best, and serving our community is at the heart of everything we do. But we don't do it alone. This is why we support organizations that make caring for the people and the environment a top priority. We know that many count on Madison's lifeline services in the Pacific, and that's why we continue to work hard to ensure that our shipments remain on time all the time. Madison recently added another Aloha-class vessel to our schedule. We now have 2 of Madison's largest and fastest ships serving Guam from the U.S. West Coast and Hawaii. With our new state-of-the-art vessels, we stand ready to support the region's economic recovery. Thank you for the privilege of serving you for the last 25 years, and you can count on Madison to be here for the next 25 years and beyond.
KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup is brought to you by Gatorade. Greatness starts with G.
Local powerlifter Christopher Heggie will be representing Guam at the Fighter Quick Classic 2 held in Las Vegas. Heggie has competed in Vegas before, taking home second place overall and first for the bench with a lift of 325 pounds. Heggie is dedicating this year's meet to his wife, who passed away a few months ago in a car accident.
Got powered through, I got a lot of support. After my wife passed away, everything just went downhill. But I used that pain and anger to a positive. So I dedicated this meet for her. It's a mental game, So I used that pain and anger in lifting those weights, To me, the weights are my problems, The bar is my support, my family, my friends, everybody that's right behind me. So any problems that you have, any weight that you got, what you got to do is lift it.
Heggie has also represented Guam at a powerlifting meet in the Philippines, where he took home a second-place finish in the 175-pound weight class. For this year's event, he's looking to cut 10 pounds and hit the platform in the 165-pound weight class.
Yeah, everybody in the gym, they support me. They don't understand or can't fathom what pain I'm going through or what I'm going through after losing, your other half. So they're there just to support, keep a smile on my face or, keep me positive. So them alone is pushing me more and more and more. So in squat, I'm trying to aim for 455 or higher. Bench is moderate, 340, 335. Then my deadlift, I want to hit 485 to 500.
Chris started his prep for the competition 4 months ago. You can find him at Paradise Fitness 3 to 4 times a week. The goal is to step on the podium and medal in Vegas.
That's the goal I wanted, was to represent her and represent Guam, bring home a medal for her. So I will bring a medal home, and then I will be putting it on her grave.
My name is Frank Florig, and I'm the president and CEO of Special Olympics Guam. With regards to the signing of the MOU between SOAP, which is Special Olympics Asia Pacific, and the Badminton Oceania Conference, I guess that's what they're called. All it does is it solidifies what we've started. And to be quite frank and honest with you, in August of 2019, Guam and the Guam National Badminton Federation had initiated an MOU between Special Olympics Guam and GNBC or GNBF here on Guam. I want to note that what the signing of that does is all it does is solidify what we've already started. I know at the very beginning, the Badminton Oceania didn't really think it was a good idea, and they didn't provide much support to the local federation. It was the local federation that found monies to supply Special Olympics with, I believe it was well over 60 badminton rackets. And these are not the cheap rackets. These are actually ones that I believe the pros use. So they provided us that. They provided coaching. They also took some of our coaches and actually put them through shuttle time. And that's the start of what you're seeing today between the Badminton Oceania Conference and Special Olympics Asia Pacific.
Well, let's talk about what you guys have in store in the future. You guys are really hard at work with lining up events for our athletes for when things do clear up and for them to get back into the action and into the swing of things.
What we've done is we've actually taken the year and we've broken down into trimesters. The first event we're looking at is in April, and that's going to be badminton. August, we're going to have softball, and then ending the year with the Guam Football Association, partnering again with us, and having soccer for our athletes that include our unified partner.
Denise David has been riding motorcycles for the past 18 years. She attended the Femwala fundraising event located in California last month. Denise marked the trip off her bucket list as she was able to experience what it was like to be a professional rider.
I took advantage of that, took the opportunity. I wanted to see what it feels like to be on the track and see all the women that's out there. And it's not only men can do it, also women. So I felt comfortable enough to be on that track. Ran a bike, ran the whole thing, got a pit crew and everything. Feel like a pro with Rider's Law. They showed me everything from basic. I had a coach, like everything. I mean, it's mind-blowing.
Denise rides a Honda CBR 1000 and says the fastest she's been clocked in at was 120 miles an hour. Last year's event was held at the Chuckwalla racetrack. The event is held once a year to help raise funds for the Unforgettables charity organization. There were about 200 women who came out to support the cause, with each rider spending close to $1,000 for the experience.
When I'm on the bike, I feel free like a bird, and it's my happy place. It's therapeutical. Yeah, it's just you and the bike. You sync together. You gotta trust the bike. The bike's gotta trust you, and your abilities to ride on your own. And of course, you just have fun with it. Like, I get lost with it.
For Buckets of the Week, we flash back to our men's national team when they faced Taipei at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. Ben Borja, corner 3, buckets. Tomas Calvo setting up the play, waits for the screen and pulls up for the 3-piece, buckets. Ty Wesley with the moves to get to the rim. Spin, baseline off glass for the bucket. Darren Hetchanova works his way to the basket. Nice move to get inside the paint, getting the home court bounce. 2-piece. Takumi Simon spotting up in the corner, waiting to get his grub on. Order up for another 3-piece, buckets. Don't forget to send us your best shots. DM our KUAM News on Instagram or hit me up at sho@kuam.com. In programming news on KUAM TV 11, Monday, January 31st at 6 in the morning, NFL on CBS. The AFC Championship game, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals at Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes. Winner moves on to this year's Super Bowl.
KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup is brought to you by Gatorade. Greatness starts with G.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Saturday is the day to party and have fun, and we have 3 birthday celebrants celebrating on Saturday this year. Happy January 29th birthday to Irvin White Jr. Irv. You've got birthday number 17 this year, and your family is very proud of you and wishes you a happy birthday. Jaron J. Jasia, happy birthday, son. Say dad and daddy, happy birthday to you. And John Edward Leon Guerrero, happy birthday to the most handsomest fireman. Yee. Hope your birthday is filled with laughter, love, and more awesome memories. We love you, John, says your familia. That is awesome. 3 amazing people, 3 people that we are so proud to have members of our Guam family. So Irvin, Jaron, and John, we hope each of you has a safe and wonderful birthday.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online at KUM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo, your name, and your birth date. That's all we have time for from all of us here at Guam's News Network. Thanks for watching and have a safe weekend.